sold. And he puts all of the emphasis on what he's done on social media. You're going to learn from this gentleman today. It's going to be an amazing episode. If you've ever wanted to be the #1 real estate agent in your market using social media, today's episode is just for you folks. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great episode. The big question is this: how do those of us in the real estate industry with crazy amounts of ambition, how do we think bigger than the building of our own empires? How do we simultaneously seek success and significance, income and impact? My name is Justin Stoddard, and this is the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. Again, welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Justin Stoddard. Thrilled to be with you all today. Happy holidays for those that are watching this live, for those that are watching it recorded. We hope you had a great holiday season as well. I'm again thrilled today about today's episode. We're going to get deep into how you blow up your real estate business using social media. Let me remind you that inside of the Think Bigger Real Estate group on Facebook is where we go deep on how to grow and scale your referral business, how to 10x your referral business. So join us there if you're not yet a member of that group. Back to today's episode. This gentleman, again, out of Houston, Texas, sells over $100 million in real estate. He's an expert, not only online, but in person. His name is Morad Fiki. Morad, such a pleasure to have you here, my friend.
Oh, man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. This is great.
You bet, man. With that smile and that charisma, there's no wonder you do well on social media. But let's dive right in. Tell us your story. Have you been in Houston, Texas your whole life? Kind of talk us through kind of your background in real estate.
Yeah, I was raised in Houston. But aside from my time in the U.S. military, I had a stint in the U.S. Marines fresh out of high school. And then when I graduated college, I went to the U.S. Navy for about 3.5 years on active duty. So besides that, I've been in Houston my majority of my life. Yeah.
Well, let me start off by saying thank you for your service. We all owe a deep debt of gratitude to our armed men and women. So thank you for that.
Oh, thanks. It's been an incredible time in my life. You know, I learned so much and just had the honor of serving with our nation's finest.
Yeah. Amen to that. Amen to that. I love it. All right. So fast forward to post-military, you decided to get into real estate. How long ago was that, Morad?
It'll be a full decade next year. So when I was honorably discharged from the Navy, that was in February of 2013. I already had my real estate license. So I got my real estate license while I was doing undergrad at University of Houston. And I just never had a chance to practice real estate yet because I went straight into the Navy. And I told my wife, she was my fiance at the time, that I have my real estate license. She would watch this show called $1 Million Listing on Bravo. And she was like, man, have you seen this show $1 Million Listing? And I was like, no. And she's like, you gotta see it. You could totally do what those guys do. And I was like, okay. So I saw it and I was like, you know, I got my real estate license, right? She's like, what? Like, you don't even have to go to real estate? I'm like, no, I just got to activate it, you know? So that's kind of how I jumped into real estate head first.
Such a cool story. I think oftentimes people will see shows like that on TV and there's one of two paths. It's like, boy, I could never do that. That's not me. And others are like, that's me. I can do that. And it's fun to have your fiance who is actually telling you that as well. Like, Morad, that's you, darling. That's you. You can do this. That's so cool.
You can totally do that. Those guys, they got nothing on you. You know, she's been my biggest fan. So it's been great.
Well, the cool thing is you didn't start off with a contract with Bravo, right? Like you didn't have that opportunity to be highlighted on that show from day one. However, you did, and this is a great segue into like today's topic, right? Which is social media. You realize that, look, if they're not going to give me a spot on TV, I'm going to go create my own spot, right? I'm going to use social media and go create my own $1 million listing. Talk us through like what point you really embrace social media.
Absolutely. Well, it happened shortly after I finally hung my license. I got started in real estate. We're going to make so much money. And then my phone wasn't ringing. I was like, you know, something wrong with my, like, why is it not ringing? You know, I didn't know what was going on. I realized that you got to get known. You got to get known. You got to get out there. You got to build a brand. Nobody is going to come looking for me. You know, 9 out of 10 realtors quit in the first year. And it's because, you know, everybody sees the glitz and the glamour. They don't see the hard work that goes in behind it. It's just like starting any business. So a lot of realtors are coming from a 9 to 5 or a corporate job. And when they're not getting those steady paychecks, it takes someone with fortitude to keep going when you're not getting a steady paycheck. And so that's when I learned I got to get known. I got to get out there. I got to build a brand. And how am I going to do that? I started figuring out that social media and digital marketing is the future. So I need to really learn this with a passion so I can build my name and build my brand.
I'm confident, Morad. In fact, I remember conversations with some agents saying like social media is like, that's for play, right? For work, we go and we actually talk to humans in person, like this kind of playing around stuff. I would venture to say that there's very few agents that still believe that. But if we've come this far, we have to believe that we're just getting started. I think it was years ago, I heard a metaphor. It was actually Yahoo that was just getting started, and it was early internet. And the investors had a good early return, as you can imagine, with Yahoo in the early days. And they came out and they said, if you liked your return thus far, this is the first inning of the internet. And I think with social media, we're probably at a very early inning. There's still very much, as you look at the future generations, the upcoming generations, how much emphasis they put on, how much learning they get, not necessarily from classrooms anymore, but from just online, from social media, right? From these short little snippet videos that they choose who they're going to follow. They choose what path they're going to take, sometimes for good, sometimes not for good, right? But nevertheless, we need to be really aware, I think, of what you're saying here is like, I need to be known. And then I'm like, the best way for me to do that is to use these free platforms and go out and just give great information.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the realtor or just anyone in general who says that, social media doesn't matter, or, this is a contact sport, you need to actually talk to people. I get that. But they don't understand the power and the value of social media and broadcast marketing, where I can reach thousands and thousands and thousands of people with one video or one message, as opposed to calling people one by one, texting people one by one. Not saying it doesn't work, but that's the old school method. Right now, I can get on my Instagram, I can reach, almost 200,000 people because of the following I've built over the years. So it's very powerful, and it's a very way to be efficient, a great way to be efficient, and also reach a mass audience in a market. By the way, Houston, a market that is saturated with over 45,000 realtors. 45,000 realtors. How do you push yourself to the top and build a brand?
And I think, one thing that I emphasize is that, yes, conversion happens in conversation. Ultimately, to get someone to sign a contract with you, there's going to be a conversation. But what makes that conversation come a lot easier, and a lot more of those conversations, is, like you said, to be known. I remember Grant Cardone, who's been on this episode before, he taught me, he said, it's good to know a lot of people. Like, we oftentimes hear that, like, who you know is your, like your network equals your net worth. And then he said, the only thing more important than who you know is who knows you. Like, you actually need to be known, right?
Oh, yeah. That's absolutely correct. And, I've learned so much from Grant. And, it really hit home. I was at one of his conferences, the 10X Growth Conference in 2019. And he was making a point. He was on stage and he was talking to this nice lady who was in the front row. He said, I have seen you at a few of my events. He was pointing her out. He was like, I remember you. He said, now, I don't know you, but you know me. And he said, now, is it my fault that I don't know you, or is it your fault? and it makes sense. Like, whose responsibility is it to make your name known, for you to get known? Like, is that my responsibility, or is that yours? Yeah. And it really hit home. It's like, that the number one most important job that any business owner has is to get known. The best known product will always beat the best product.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, but be both, right? Be the best and be the best known. That way, like, the good guy wins.
We've seen it time and time again. Microsoft beat a superior product, which was Apple, for decades, because Microsoft was more widely known and accepted and had built a brand where every single PC was using their software. And so, it's really about being known and having a brand that you can go anywhere in the world and be noticed, like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, all these companies that have built massive brands. That's why McDonald's is, I forget how many, $150 billion company, and Burger King is like 12 billion. Why is that? McDonald's is known worldwide. That M, you go anywhere and you know where that M, And so that's really what it's about. It's about building a brand. And now with social media and digital advertising, you can reach masses of people for a fraction of the cost. It's leveled the playing field, but you have to really understand these advanced marketing strategies.
Let's get into that. I think everybody's curious, right? Obviously, you've built quite the following, 200,000 followers on Instagram. Talk us through some of the do's and don'ts of social media, because I do believe that people can waste a lot of time, right, thinking that they're working when in actuality it's not leading to conversations, it's not leading to contracts, it's not leading to closings, it's not leading to commissions, right? But they just, I've been working all day, but they're not doing the right things that actually produce these end results that they're looking for. So walk us through some of the must do's, the things that you must absolutely do on social media to really be effective.
Definitely do be authentic. Be authentic, be yourself. Let people into who you are. And we all have our own unique style, our own unique way of going about things. Don't be scared to let people into who you are and get to know you as a person. You don't have to put on a facade and be a fake or try to be what you think people want you to be. Be yourself, and then you're not going to dread doing social media. A lot of people dread getting on social media. They say it's too much work, it's too much difficulty, but because they're not being authentic. You have to be authentic and let that authenticity shine through. The other thing I would say is don't be boring. Don't be boring. Like, people are on social media because they want to be entertained and educated. People want to be educated, they want to learn about something, but at the same time, they want to be entertained. People get on social media because they're bored, they're at their job and they're, not having a good time, or they're just waiting or doing something, sitting around, and they're bored and they want to be entertained. And that's why people get on social media. So don't be boring. Don't be the realtor who goes on and says, "Hi, I'm Joe Smith with Joe Smith Realty. If you're thinking about buying or selling, blah, 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 blah." It's just like quack, 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 quack. No one cares. Be yourself, be authentic. What do you like to do? Who are you as a person? And people have the same interests that you have are going to naturally be attracted to you.
I love that, man. It's so true. You can watch somebody who captivates you, and even if you're even less interested in the topic that they're talking about, you can follow them and stay engaged because they're so entertaining. I'd love to hear from you, Morad. What are some ways that you entertain people online? I think everybody that's watching is going to go follow you if they're not already, just to learn, your tactics and your strategies. But what are some things when you're, a lot of people are working virtually, and or they're not. What are some ways that you're kind of leveled up the entertainment value of your content?
Wow, there's so many ways. So one of the things, if you get to know me, and I certainly hope you join me on social media, follow me. Let's keep the conversation going after this. Is I am a big personality, and I like to come across as motivational, explosive. I like to talk about what's on my mind. Sometimes I'm feeling like charging ahead, taking new ground, taking market share. I'm here in an industry where there's 45,000 agents in Houston, but there's only maybe the top 200 are doing the majority of the business. Now, a lot of those top 200 have been in this business 20, 30, 40 years, And areas where I work and live, like Memorial, it's a very nicely, highly coveted area here in Houston. Some of those agents have been around for 40 years. They've been selling real estate longer than I've been alive. And so I'm the new kid on the block. You know, how do I get in a market and take market share over someone who's been so deeply ingrained in, and they have roots, deep roots in the community? And that's because I'm bringing new, fresh, creative ideas to marketing properties. I'm shooting high quality content that captivates and entertains the audience. People want to be entertained, and I'm here to entertain you. So when you follow me, I want to give you something that you enjoy. I want to give you a vacation, mini vacation from what you're currently doing, and enjoy and see some fabulous homes, or hear me speaking about going on a rant about something. But you know, my goal is to captivate and motivate and entertain the audience, and that's what makes me different. So you know, when you follow me, that's what I hope to do while you are enjoying my content.
Morad, I think you just opened up an entire new kind of line of thought for everybody listening here today. Is that it doesn't matter how good of things you have to say, how good of a real estate agent you are. Let's say you've got 40 years of experience, and you could get online and teach every bit of that and really kind of wow people with how much you know. If you don't grab their attention, grab them by the face and say, you need to listen to me because this is important, through your energy and through your charisma and your entertainment value, they'll never get a chance to hear you because you're too dang boring, right? Like it was just like it didn't work, and people are missing out. Like if I hear like agent after agent, I'm sure, that has great content to share, and they get on and they do it like a boring newscaster, and it's like, no, people aren't going to hang on for that.
Yeah,
you're cheating them of all the knowledge that you have because you're not putting it into any sort of package that they want to open, right?
exactly. And that's the thing. And then another place that I see a lot of agents fail on social media specifically is they're waiting for everything to be perfect. You know, I'm not going to get on social media because, you know, I'm not good enough yet. I'm going to keep practicing, and it's never going to be perfect. You just got to get out there. You just got to put yourself out there. You just got to be authentic, be yourself, enjoy it. I know it can be nerve-wracking at first, but once you start getting your reps in, then you start getting a rhythm, you start getting a flow, you start finding your voice. And everybody has a different voice. And so you're not going to find your voice until you get out there and start getting those reps in. And yeah, the first videos you do might be horrible. You know what? But you can get better. The next one will be better, and then better, and then better. And so that's what you really got to do, and just be original. Don't copycat anyone. Be original. Come with your own style of content, and people will love you for that.
Man, I think, again, another absolute golden nugget that you just shared with us right there, is that in fact, it reminds me of the great words of Jim Rohn. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the hardest things for our industry, is to just not be good at first, is to actually be kind of bad and realize that your first videos are going to be lousy. And some of the people who you love in life are going to not watch them anymore because they're bad. The reality is it's a huge world out there, a huge world. And there's so many people that need you and need your help. And it's okay if some people don't like you. It's okay, because you're going to find your people. And I love how you've said that, Morad, is that it's true, is that you only find your voice by speaking. You can't just go you're not going to find it in a library. You're not going to find it online all by like searching other people's stuff. You've got to start talking. Once you start talking, you're going to find the stuff that brings you energy and gets you fired up. And that's going to attract the audience of people that also get fired up about those same things in that same way. And
yeah, absolutely. You've got to find your voice. You've got to put yourself out there, and you've got to be entertaining. Those are the biggest pieces of advice I can give you. And there's just so many ways, so many different things. I'm doing a reality show called $1 Million Agent, and we're going to launch it on my YouTube channel. So it's going to be great. I mean, we're doing shots. We're like following me around, got the camera following me around, going to look at beautiful homes, you know, going to closing, going to some of the hottest restaurants in the area. It's just going to be so exciting. And, you know, and that's how I'm growing my YouTube channel. So I want to do original, authentic content that entertains the audience. This is so important.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. I can't wait to see that. All right, let's get into, I think you've really helped us to, in a couple of very simple points, right? Is we should absolutely be authentic. We should absolutely be entertaining. We should absolutely get going before we're good, because that's the only path forward to getting good is by doing the reps, like you've said.
Yes.
Are there is there any insight around platforms, right? I think there's been a myth, I think, that's been kind of perpetrated, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, that you have to be present all the time on all the platforms. You have to be on this, you have to be on that. I think find who's your audience, where are they hanging out? Now, it doesn't mean you can't cross post and cross pollinate in other places, but choose your favorite place and spend a lot of time there and really create conversations with people. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you don't have to be everywhere at all times in the beginning. And especially when you're getting started, you know, pick one platform, and whichever one you like, whichever one is your favorite, you pick your favorite platform and then get on there, post consistently, start building a community and engage. Another big problem I see with realtors or business owners who don't understand social media. It's social media, meaning you got to be social, you got to engage. So a lot of people will just post something and disappear. They post, okay, I did my post, I'm gone. Like, I hate Facebook. I heard people say, I hate Facebook. That's not the right attitude. That is not the right attitude. It's social media. If you post and you never comment or engage the audience, you're missing the whole point. It's engagement. So when you post something and you're getting engagement, somebody says, wow, nice photo, looks like a cool event you were at, or nice restaurant, wow, what is that? Comment back, hey, thanks for that feedback, I appreciate it. Yeah, this is a nice place that I was checking out. It's right over here on the corner of whatever, you know, in case if you like the latest seafood, this is a great seafood restaurant. Like, dude, engage the audience. Not only will the algorithm reward you for that, people will start building community. And the biggest advantage with social media is it condenses the time frame. How long does it take for you to authentically feel like you know someone in person? It takes years. Social media condenses years into weeks. Within weeks, people feel like they know you. I have seen people out and about and they're like, oh my gosh, Morad, how's it going? They feel like they know me because they follow me on social media and I'm constantly there. Now, after a while, yeah, I'm on every platform. And I would love to connect with your audience. And I would say, you pick your favorite platform and we'll connect there. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on YouTube, I'm on TikTok. You know, you pick whatever platform you like, let's connect there. But if you're just getting started, it can be overwhelming. You know, you don't have to be on every single platform. Pick the one that you like and get consistent. Because if you're posting once a month or rarely and you're not engaging, you're missing the whole point.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So well said. All right, we have just a few minutes left, Morad. I'd love to hear your perspective. Obviously, you're not just in the media business. That's how you've grown a real estate business. I'd love to hear your thoughts on 2023. Should people be excited? Should they be anxious? What's your take on the coming year?
Now, regarding real estate, we all know interest rates have risen dramatically over the last few months. They've practically doubled in a 6 to 9 month period. Yeah. That does not mean that the market is crashing. The single greatest asset during the last 10,000 years has been real estate. Countries fight wars and have fought many wars over land because that's how valuable land is. So the point that I'm making is you have a house, you have a $200,000 house. What is the likelihood that this $200,000 house gets cut in half, goes from 200,000 to 100,000 overnight? It's not likely. Unless there's a catastrophic event like a hurricane or a fire or a flood or something knocks the house down, it's not very likely. Real estate values hold, and generally they increase in percentage about 1 to 5% in appreciation year over year, historically over the last 250 years. So the fact that they're going to just get cut in half, now the stock market can do that. We've seen stocks, we've seen 401ks get evaporated overnight.
Yeah.
Right? It's a paper asset. What is it really worth? When you have a piece of real estate, it's all about the location and what is the value that real estate provides. But real estate values hold over time. Now let's get to the interest rate. People are like, wow, interest rates 7%. Last year, they were at 3%. 3% was historical lows. It was unsustainable. Due to the lack of inventory and the ultra low interest rates, that's what has fueled the boom in real estate over the last 3 to 4 years. And real estate values have increased 10 to 20% year over year. That's unsustainable. What's realistic is 1 to 5% year over year. So now with the increase in interest rates, values are starting to stabilize, and the market is starting to stabilize, which is healthy for the market.
Yeah.
So I would say it is always a good time to buy real estate. Of course, you can overpay and you can underpay in any market. So you definitely have to contact your real estate professional. Make sure you're getting into a good deal. But there's deals in every market, up, down, and sideways.
I love it, Morad. Such great perspective. And the reality is it's not going out of style, right? People need to move. In fact, I encourage people that there are certain demographics who have to buy, have to sell in this market. And if you can hone your attention on those people, you'll do great during these times. While everyone else is licking their wounds and talking about how it's different than last year, you'll be building an absolute empire in silence. And people turn around and say, how did you do that? And you'll say, I simply worked really hard through 2023 and didn't listen to all the noise. Right?
Yeah. I didn't listen to all the noise and the naysayers. And you just keep investing, you keep buying, and one day you'll look back, you'll have this huge portfolio of real estate paying you every single month.
I love it. Morad, I got one more question for you here. You are a big thinker, no doubt about it. What is it that Morad Fiki does to continue to be a big thinker, to continue to grow and expand your possibilities? What does that look like for you?
I get in rooms with people way more successful and smarter than me, and learn from them, learn from their thinking. You know, I get in rooms with Grant Cardone, Brandon Dawson, Russell Brunson, some of the most incredible marketers of our generation. And I learn from them because I want to be a marketing genius. And in order for me to do that, I got to learn with people who've been very successful and way more successful than I have, so I can learn from them and grow into the person that I've been destined to be. And so that's the biggest advice I have. Get around people who are more successful than you and who are where you want to go.
Morad, it's such great advice. It's so simple, yet so few do it. And I'd love to actually highlight here on the show somebody who's taken that philosophy, lived it, and boom, look at you now. And I know this is just the beginning for you, my friend. Such a pleasure to have you here on the show today. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, allowing me to speak to your audience. If there's anything I can do for you, I would love to do it. And I would love to connect with you and anyone from your audience on social media. Pick your favorite platform. I'm right there. And let's keep the conversation going. Thank you.
I love it, Morad. Hey, one more thing. I know you have an ebook that you offered to my audience. Can you tell them how to find that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. MoradFiki.com. And that's MORAD, just the way it's spelled, MoradFiki.com. It's right there. It's a free ebook, how to double your business in the next 90 days. And I love to connect, and I certainly appreciate it.
I love it, man. And for everybody listening here today, I know you feel as much gratitude as I do for Morad and his time and his expertise. And my final request from both of us is this: go think bigger. Morad, thanks for helping us do that today, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Be honest, hearing good ideas is not enough. You have to apply them in order to get the results desired. If you found value in today's episode, then you're really going to love the community of big thinkers and high achievers that we are building in order to help you to apply the principles taught today. If you're not yet a member of Think Bigger Real Estate on Facebook, go sign up now.